This is Accurate TV News,
where you get your news on time, on point, and online.
Man gunned down near market in Montego Bay. The police in Montego Bay, St. James are investigating the shooting death of a man in the vicinity of the Charles Garden Market. The deceased has been identified by the police by the alias Pfeiffer. The shooting happened about 7 o'clock this morning. The police report that the man was standing in an area called Riverside when he got into an argument with two men. It is further reported that the dispute escalated and one of the men pulled a gun and opened fire. The man was hit several times. The police were called and investigators processed the scene. They say further investigation revealed that the deceased was a violent producer who was linked to several robberies in the market district. Vendor charged in Kingston bus stop fight. A 30-year-old vendor who allegedly stabbed a man at a bus stop in downtown Kingston in April has been charged. Glenrick Asherdale from John Street in Kingston 16 has been charged with wounding with intent. The Kingston Central Police says it is alleged that the complainant and Dale had a dispute at South Parade in downtown. The fight escalated, during which Dale reportedly used a knife to stab the complainant. The injured man was taken to hospital where he was admitted. The accused man was apprehended on June 22. The police says Dale court date is being arranged. Dissident artist, rapper sentenced to prison in Cuba. Michael Castillo was sentenced to 9 years for attacks and defamation against the country's institution, and Luis Manuel Otero Alcantara, 34, to 5 years for insulting national symbols. Both were involved with the so-called San Isidro movement, named for the neighborhood where Otero Alcantara lives, that had attracted usual wide support among prominent Cuban artists and musicians in 2020. Their arrest had been denounced by international human rights organizations as well as the United States government, which considered them political persecution. The government said it was merely applying the law as it would to anyone. Prosecutors had sought 10 years for Castillo, better by the performance name or Sobo, and 7 for Alcantara, according to their friends. The same court also imposed a 5-year sentence on Felix Roque Delgado and 3 years on 2 women who were convicted of hitting police in an effort to halt the arrest of Castillo, a 39-year-old rapper. He was among the composer of the song Patria y Vida, Fatherland and Life, whose twist on the communist government's fatherland and death slogan made it a sort of anthem for opposition figures. It won a Latin Grammy Award this year. Otero Alcantara artwork featured the Cuban flag were considered disrespectful. In November 2020, police broke up a sort of sit-in at Taro Alcantara house in support of another rapper, Dennis Solis, who had been sentenced to prison for insulting a police officer. Castillo was among those taking part in the sit-in. Officials said they were enforcing pandemic restrictions on gatherings, but the move prompted about 200 people to stage a larger, almost unprecedented protest outside the culture ministry. Aftershock in Afghanistan as quake toll rises to 1,150 bodies. Guyana, Afghanistan. An aftershock took more lives Friday and threatened to pile even more misery on an area of eastern Afghanistan reeling from a powerful earthquake that state media said killed 1,150 people this week. Among the dead from Wednesday's magnitude 6 quake are 121 children, but that figure is expected to climb, said Mohammed Ahoyo, UNICEF representative representative in Afghanistan. He said close to 70 children were injured. That earthquake struck a remote mountainous region already grappling with staggering poverty at a time when the country as a whole is spiraling deeper into economic crisis after many countries pull back critical financing and development aid in the wake of the Taliban takeover. On Friday, Pakistan Meteorological Department reported a new 4.2 magnitude quake that state-run Bakhtar News Agency reported took 5 more lives and hard hit Gyan district and injured 11 people. The international aid had been keeping the country afloat, and its withdrawal left millions unable to afford food and further strained already struggling medical facilities. Nearly half the population of 38 million cannot meet their basic food needs, while some civil servants like doctors, nurses, and teachers weren't paid for months because the Taliban government is unable to access frozen foreign reserves. Salary delay continued throughout the public sector. Afghanistan international isolation is also complicating relief efforts since fewer aid organizations have a presence in the country, and international sanctions on Afghan banks make it difficult to send cash into the country despite waivers from the U.S. Treasury Department that allow money to be sent to aid group. Banks are hesitant to handle such transactions for fear of running afoul of rules anyway.